men, and I use the term in a manly way today. Hey, welcome back to the K Chronicles. We're looking at part 9 today. We're going to take a last look at these camshafts. These K cams have a very unusual feature I've never seen on a camshaft before. So stay tuned and take a look at this video. You'll learn something.
This is just a little more gee whiz show and tell for you. This cam is a K cam. It was the only cam that came in the engine that was still worth using. Of course, this is a KHK. The other three cams were just junk. But anyway, notice how short duration this is and how relatively high lift this is. The Ks were very low compression motors. So the longer the duration, long duration tends to bleed off compression because the valves are open longer. So it allows air to escape from the cylinder on compression stroke. So anyway, the Ks are very low compression to begin with, so they have a very short duration, trying to keep as much compression as they possibly can. This is a K cam. This is a KH cam, and you'll notice it has much longer duration. It doesn't have quite as much lift as the K cam. So this one is actually bleeding off compression. And as it turns out, K pistons, which I'll get into when I start working on the top end with you, the K pistons are actually taller, the KHK pistons are actually taller than the K pistons. So this motor will have more compression, and it probably could afford to bleed a little bit off. Just for comparison, here is a Sportster cam. Look at the long duration on this thing. This is a P cam. And you guys that kickstart bikes with magnetos, man, you know that the Sportsters, even with this longer duration, have a lot of compression. So, you know, they could bleed off a lot of compression just to make the damn thing manageable, you know. Shorter duration cam in a Sportster would raise the compression even more. So you got to be careful of that when picking out cams on Sportsters. You'll notice the Sportster cam is not nearly as tall as the KH cam or the K cam. And that's because the Sportsters make up for it with the rocker arm ratio. I believe the ratio was 1 to 1.4, 1.5. So you could have less lift, and the rocker arm will make up for that because it'll increase the lift an extra 50 or 40% depending on what the ratio is exactly. And I just threw this one in here. This is the one that had been welded on. And it looks more similar in profile to the KH cam. I could only assume they had one that was fucked up and they were trying to save it. And anyway, that's the weld job on there. It's not altogether horrible. You know, it'd work, it'd get you by. That's for sure. Well, it'll get you by for a while. And then just so you got an idea why I junked these other cams, let's see if I can get it where you could see them good. Okay, that's why I junked. This is one of the cams I decided was no good. Obviously it's no good. Here is, let's see. Yeah, here's one of the other ones I junked. Get it where you can see it. Yeah, there you go. See the lobe is beginning to come apart on this one. So this one's no good. And then of course the third one I decided to junk was this guy here. And you might be able to see right in here. Yeah, right in through here, you could see where the weld ended and the base metal begins. This will probably work for a while. It actually doesn't look too bad, but you know, I don't know that you could trust that. If I was, you know, racing a bike or something and I was going to have the cam cover off, you know, every weekend to check it out, I probably would go ahead and use this. Anyway, that's that. The other thing I want to look at is this. Okay, this is a number 1 KH cam. And you'll notice the lobe is at a little bit of an angle. It's not parallel to the center line of the cam. When I opened the package, I thought, what the fuck? This cam is no good. Somebody's ground on it. Well, that's a number one. Here's the 1K that came with the bike, the only one that looks good and fit to use, and it's cut at a little bit of an angle too. So apparently that's the way they are. That has to mean that the tappet block is not parallel to the stroke of the engine. The tappet block has got to be set at a little angle so that the roller can intersect this correctly. And when I get around to looking at the tappets, I'm going to see if I could figure out how to verify that. But very interesting. And of the three, only this one, the number one, is cut at that angle. So fun facts to know and tell about K models. Anyway, that's it for now on this. All right, here's another show and tell moment for you. I did find a set of KHK cams on eBay. They weren't cheap. They seem to be in excellent condition. I'm getting ready to install them, and I noticed this gap over here. This is the mag or points drive gear. It's coming off of the shaft. See, it should be flush over here, not protruding. So this is, I've been doing this for over 40 years, and this is the second one of these I've seen that was coming off the shaft. The other one I saw was on the motor I finished just before this motor, 2 in a row. Usually there's a gobble weld on here. And I noticed there's a key slot, but you know what? There's no key in there. Weird. I'm going to push it off. If it fights me coming off, I'm just going to put some green Loctite on it and push it back on. If it comes off real easy and goes back on real easy, I'm going to put a gobble weld on it. I really don't want to weld on these, but most of the ones you see have a gobble weld on them. So we'll check it out and see. Over to the press. Okay, here's the arrangement I've rigged up to push it off. Okay, the gear was reasonably snug. It was neither especially snug nor was it especially loose. I think I'm just going to put some Loctite on it, press it back on there, and let it rip. I just, that last one I had, I did put a gobble weld on it. This one, I don't know, just, this KHK stuff being as rare as it is, I want to do as little altering as I can, I guess. Okay, here it is pressed all the way on. I'm just going to let it ride that way. There can't be much resistance to rotation in that little point distributor that sits on here. Why that was backing off, who the hell knows. But I don't think it's going anywhere. We're pressed on nice and tight, nice and snug. I think it'll be fine. All right, the gasket's laying there. Painted both sides with aviation former gasket. I don't usually do that, but I just thought I'd take a little extra caution today. Let's pop the cover on. Let's pop the cover on. The fuck? There we go. That's it. That one looks a little long. We'll see. All right, it's time to motor up. Let's make sure it still rotates. Second cess. Let's snug these screws down. I'm going to hacksaw about 1/4 inch off of that one. It just looks too long to me. Let's see if it goes in all the way. Huh, it does. Well, I guess I'm going to leave it. I'm calling that good to go. Next step is to do my oil pump pressure flow thing I do.
All right, so that's it for this week. Next week, we're going to start putting the primary together. And if you thought all the surprises had been ferreted out, guess what? You're wrong. Tune in next week. The bike throws some more curveballs at me. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and I am out of here.